Hi, I'm Anita Myana. I'm the Project Management and Agile Trainer from Certify Consulting Services. In this video, we are going to study what is definition of ready. Yeah, so let us get started. When we say definition of ready is nothing but a checklist that is followed in the agile project, and this checklist is used when the team pulls the user stories from product backlog into sprint backlog. The product backlog is groomed regularly, and all the user stories which are ready to be constructed, those are placed on top. The very the user stories which are at a granular level and which have utmost detail and which have all the detailed specifications with them, and when that user story is completely clear and when the required information is completely available, then the team will consider pulling that user story into the current sprint. So, for considering a particular user story from product backlog into current sprint, or to pull it and to make it part of our sprint backlog, there is a checklist that the team has created, and it uses that checklist to understand whether a particular user story is ready to be pulled from product backlog to sprint backlog. So, definition of ready, it mentions that the user story's value is clearly defined. So this is the different criteria that we need to have in the user story. So the definition of ready, this could be your checklist, and in that you might be checking whether that user story's value is well defined, whether complete information is available for that user story or not, whether the technical setup is ready for that user story or not, whether the infrastructure is available for constructing that user story or not. So this could be the different criteria that you need to have in place so as to pull a particular user story from product backlog to current sprint and make it part of sprint backlog. So here you will also try to understand whether there is any dependencies for this user story, and whether you need to construct some other user story before constructing this user story. So there could be that kind of functional dependency, and there could be some technical dependency due to which you might not be able to construct a particular user story. So for pulling the user story from product backlog to a sprint backlog, the team follows a checklist which is known as definition of ready. Definition of ready is nothing but a checklist which is a set of criteria that helps team to pull the user stories from product backlog to sprint backlog and construct those user stories as part of the current sprint. Yeah, so in my previous session, you must have understood what is definition of done. And in this session, we have studied what is definition of ready. So there is a difference between definition of done and definition of ready. You please go back and check definition of done video of mine, which will help you to understand what is definition of done, and you will be able to understand the difference between these two checklists.